Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grip Lock, Foundation Disc Golf's weekly podcast. I'm Hunter, joined by Trevor. No con today. No con today. He's heading back from USDGC, where we all were yesterday. And really, we were there Friday through Sunday. Foundation as a whole was there Thursday through Sunday. Y'all made it a great success. We appreciate each and every one of you that popped up and said hello. But the fun doesn't stop there, because this weekend here in Lynchburg, Virginia, we have the Tour Championship going on and the Amateur Challenge at the Tour Championship, which I'm sure a lot of you are coming to. And I want to let you know about something fun going on the day before that starts. So we are actually going to be hosting, in collaboration with the Isaiah 117 House, a charity fundraiser event out at Falling Creek Park that is going on this Thursday. There's tee time. It's a flex start. That's really a flex start glow event mainly, but you can choose some tee times a little bit before it. We're going to be playing in it, so when you go to register, you can pop on one of our cards if there's still slots available there. Just go to discgolfscene.com and search Isaiah 117 House Fundraiser Tournament. 117 is the number, 117. Like I said, just 9 holes of fun to raise money for a good cause, the Isaiah 117 House out at Falling Creek Park, which some of you, if you're coming in town for the event, will actually be playing. You can choose whether you get a glow disc or not as part of your registration. There's going to be food trucks out there, a bunch of door prizes, CTP prizes, ace pool, all of that good stuff. So you can go ahead and register and join us out there this Thursday, October 16th, Falling Creek Park. Again, go over to discgolfscene.com, search Isaiah 117 House Fundraiser Tournament, and join us there.
Yes.
Also, before we get into today's episode, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped. It's time to talk about stepping up your grooming game. The face shaving products from Manscaped are the ultimate grooming tools designed to deliver precision and comfort in sleek, easy-to-use devices. Whether you're looking for a trim, shape, or detailed touch-up, Manscaped's face shaving products are built to handle shaving your face with ease, crafted for efficiency, and the perfect addition to your grooming arsenal. You can use our code GRIPLOCKED for 15% off your entire order over at manscaped.com. Let me tell you about a few of these tools here. First thing here, the Handyman. It's a sleek, powerful, compact face shaver that helps guys ditch the mess. Cordless and designed for convenience, it easily fits in your drawer, slips into an overnight gym bag. I just took it with me to USDGC personally. It's incredible. It's engineered for the unique dual blade system, featuring a standard foil shaver and a long hair trimming blade to handle up to 3 days of beard growth. And what's even better is it comes equipped with skin-safe technology to help reduce those nicks and cuts for a perfectly clean shave. And with up to 60 minutes of runtime per charge, you're not scrambling to finish before the battery dies. There's also a low battery indicator light that lets you know when it's time to recharge, which is super helpful, because I don't know if you've ever been in this situation,
You'd be surprised
but I have before.
How they don't always have that.
That's what I'm saying. And I've been in a situation before where I'm like, you know what, I got to touch up before I go to work. Get halfway done, I'm like, this thing just died. You gotta be kidding me. So the low battery light, super useful. It just charges with a USB-C too. So you probably already have those cords laying around. If not, it comes when you pick one up. So join the over 12 million men who trust Manscaped and upgrade to the Handyman Rocket Man. You can use my code GRIPLOCKED for 15% off the entire order at manscaped.com. Again, it's 15% off with code GRIPLOCKED, manscaped.com. Don't miss out. Upgrade your grooming game with Manscaped today. Thanks again to Manscaped, one of our longest partners.
Shout
with
out.
Grip Lock. Probably the longest. I think they were our first ad reads on Grip Lock ever.
Probably.
So, all right. USDGC/TPWDGC.
That's way too long of an acronym.
United States Disc Golf Championship and the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship just went down in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Like I said, we were there, so non-results based. What were your thoughts or takeaways from being on the ground?
I mean, it delivered. I think that this was I would say this is definitely the most busy year I've ever been to. The gallery sizes were like pretty staggering. I just honestly was kind of taken away by how big the crowds were following. Vendor Village was awesome. They did a good job. They did like a new setup this year, had like a massive tent that everybody walked into at the entrance. And yeah, I mean, they always have good food, tons of vendors, so many vendors. We got to meet so many people at our booth. So yeah, I mean, fan experience was a home run, but we always expect that. Like a lot of times, really the only unknown with USDGC is like, okay, just how big is the crowd going to be? And the weather was a little uncertain, but people showed up and it was a blast.
Yeah, I was telling my wife, because my wife and son were there with me this year, and I was telling her, I think it was probably MPO's had some massive galleries, but this was probably the biggest non-European FPO gallery in history.
Oh, it was huge.
I would imagine.
Yeah, it was huge. That was the one that really, like, I was shocked.
Like the FPO to MPO, there wasn't that much of a drop off gallery wise, to be honest. I mean, it helped that both cards had the people everyone wanted in it, like in contention. Because I was telling my wife this too. We were walking with the MPO lead card on day 3, which contained AB, Ricky, Paul, and Luke Taylor. Shout out Luke Taylor. And I was telling Liz, I was like, this gallery, it's tough for me to know, like, is this actually the busiest USDGC ever? Or is it just like typically you have, okay, Gannon Burr and AB are on this card, Paul Macbeth's on the 3rd card, Ricky's on the 2nd card, Simon Lazat's on the 5th card, and you just have like a massive crowd that's just spread out all over the property.
Yeah.
I was like, but when you have a AB, Gannon, Ricky, AB, Paul, Ricky on the 3rd, and the 4th day you bring Calvin in. I was like, when you have everyone's favorite players kind of all on one card, then there isn't a spread out across.
Yeah.
I was like, so it's tough for me to know like what resulted in it, but regardless, I mean, it was like hole 14. They also did this newer thing where they brought a fence line up on 14 so you could surround 14. And typically 14, everyone wants to watch it, but you're just like 10 rows deep on the road. This made it where like everyone was like 3 or 4 rows deep around the entire hole, and that hole's massive. So like we were out there and I was like looking around, I'm just like, this is the craziest gallery I've gotten to witness. And I know, again, Europe, I've just never been there in person. I understand Worlds was probably 2 to 3x what was out there, at least 2 times what was out there. So it's hard to even imagine that. But it's, USDGC does it right. And I was actually talking to someone from the Pro Tour about like the event experience and stuff. And I was like, what was also crazy was you had the lead cards off and you had all those people, but that massive tent was still full. Because it was such a good hangout area where you had the vendor village to your right, and there was probably 100 vendors there.
It had to be.
Which is awesome. It was basically like a Disc South or Disc East Expo, essentially. You had that there, and then you had a tent that was much bigger than before. So in the corner, you had the end of a pro shop, and then you had just tables, rocking chairs, couches, and just a massive TV with the live coverage on it.
It's like a whole nother gallery.
And so then, like, there were several times where lead cards going, and I'm at our booth helping, and you would hear the reaction from under the tent. Like, yeah, you could hear roars from the crowd, but you would hear like it was almost like people were legitimately cheering and going, oh, and stuff on OB and stuff. Like, under that tent was a whole nother vibe. So it's just, I say it every year, but the team at USDGC, they do a phenomenal job. They always find ways to kind of push the boundary. When I heard that they were going to be moving the hangout area away from hole 7 more towards the middle, I was a little scared. I was definitely worried. I was like, that's a mistake. Now that I was down there, it wasn't a mistake. It went phenomenally well. So, now let's talk about the actual event, because being there, awesome. You got to make it if you haven't been there before. But if you watch what went down, crazy stuff. So on FPO side, we have Missy Gannon taking it down. We have, I think I can nail this one.
Okay.
I've been practicing. I listened to Brian say it over and over because I read her name and I was like, dang it, Hunter, I got to say this clean on Monday. Anelli Togias-Monaste. I'm going to call her Anelli from here on out.
Okay.
Because I know I can hit Anelli right, and I don't want to insult her.
You got that one.
She came in second, and then Silva Saarinen in third. So really back and forth event all the way down the stretch here for the women. And what was interesting is, so you kind of had Missy come out with a good round 1. Then she really struggled, shoots 4 over round 2, finds herself 4 strokes back. Meanwhile, Silva is playing fine, 3 under the first round. Second day, the wind and everything, like the weather was a little bit worse. I mean, the weather was honestly great all weekend.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
But it was windier the second day. And a lot of times it was almost windier for FPO than MPO.
It was, I think, just about every day.
Yeah, the mornings the wind was a lot more. So the second day we saw the scores swing pretty drastically because of that. So Silva fires off an even round. Anelli is able to get 1 under and take the lead, and then you have Missy sliding back. And then round 3, the stage gets set for the final round, because what this was, well, actually, we got to give credit to Missy Gannon during round 3. Silva shot a 9 under. Phenomenal round. Unfortunately, she chose to shoot it the day that Missy Gannon shot a 10 under, and Missy Gannon did it by birdieing 10 holes in a row.
I can't even fathom.
Hole 6 through 15, which what's funny about that too is, like, that's the tougher stretch of the course. Like that middle stretch is what a lot of times eats people's lunch, and she just went perfect through it. So
it's crazy.
Missy and Silva, though, both put them in a good position. Anelli's able to hold on. She shoots 7 under to hold her lead. But the stage was kind of set where you had those three ran away from the field. Paige Pierce made lead card, but she was 11 strokes back. So really it was Anelli, Missy, and Silva kind of going into this final day. And it was an interesting one because going into this event, a lot of the talking points were, although this isn't technically on the Pro Tour, the players, fans, a lot of people view this as a major because it's happening during a major event. So Player of the Year race, this is the crucial tournament. And the two players that really are the most deserving of Player of the Year going into it were Missy and Silva. And they have established themselves where we have a battle between both of them. And then you have Anelli, where if Anelli wins, it's just going to throw a wrench in the whole thing because then you have Missy and Silva would have both played very solid, but neither of them won. So you have this like beautiful storyline writing itself. We come out the final day, and Anelli kind of starts off a little bit slower. Missy and Silva hit the ground running a little bit, but then, that the latter half of the front nine, Anelli's able to get a crucial birdie as Missy and Silva are slipping. So it is anyone's ball game really going into it. And then as we head into the back nine in the latter stretch, you start to see Silva and Missy start to exchange blows a little bit more. Anelli, again, just never really got things going, to be honest with you. She was just never able to pick up many birdies. And so it heads into the final stretch, kind of drama-packed. We're heading into 14 down the rest of the way with, I believe, at this point, Missy was down 2 going into 14, if I remember it correctly. You have Silva throw into the hazard, but then she bangs this huge putt. You can check it out on our Instagram. Gallery goes wild. Missy's able to make the birdie. Hole 15 is the first time we see Silva really mess up. 15 is a very tough hole, the triple Mando hole, but we see Silva early left into the ivy stuff over there, which is punishing enough, but she still has to make the Mando and all of that. She ends up hitting a solid putt. I think they gave it to her at 27 feet to save her bogey, but she loses a stroke to Missy there, meaning, okay, game time, we are now tied up going into 16. So Missy's able to hold her off. We're going into 16. And what I was telling Trevor about this was kind of funny to me was, obviously, you can't do what I'm about to say. But if you were just looking at this course and you removed the hazard, like Silva's blow-up hole on 16, she almost played it better than Missy in certain ways.
Well, I'd say it's funny because if you look at their drives, obviously they know what they have to do out there. You can't go left, you can't go right. But yeah, Missy, basically by turfing her drive halfway down the fairway, and her up and down wasn't going to be a piece of cake necessarily, but she made it a pretty easy par, whereas because Silva's drive had enough air on it and was able to get and work its way into the hazard, it ended up working against her. And that's just disc golf sometimes. I mean, obviously,
they knew on the tee what they had to do, right? So Silva did play it worse. It was just funny to watch it because it's Silva got pin high. She had a 40-foot look. Missy, meanwhile, is probably 100-some feet short. 100, maybe 200. No, not 200. Probably 150 feet short. But she's in the fairway. She messed up where you can mess up. It's true. Versus Silva messed up where you can't mess up. Yeah. But what was interesting to me is, so Missy steps up first, obviously, puts it to 5 feet. Yeah. Tap out par, it's done. We know 17's coming, yet Silva, I personally think I disagree with this in this situation. Ran the putt from 40 feet, knowing there's hazard pretty close behind. And her putt had been on. She had hit several big-time putts today on the final day. And really what it was is it seemed like her hand motion, she wanted to put a little ante on it, and it came out flat. So it was pin high, just left, and that air ball trickled into the hazard again. I don't know. Then she felt very defeated, which then at that point, when it rains, it pours. She misses the 25-foot putt from the hazard to turn a double into a triple bogey at that point.
Because you kind of she's kind of dealing with the trees, right? On that putt from the hazard.
She had a pretty clean look.
But it's so I think
it was probably in her head.
Though the look was there, I'm thinking if I am looking at giving that a bid, I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, even if I don't catch basket, I'm probably just going to get knocked down by the trees. It really was a weird spot to throw the one putt that gets her into the hazard, because I'm thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna give this a run, and if I pull it a little left or right, I might just hit a tree and knock down next to the basket. Like, there's a lot of stuff to run into.
There was a lot of stuff that could have saved
and you go right through that. It's like sometimes you have those putts where you're like, well, there's no way I miss between this obstacle and the basket and go.
And yet you always do.
And you always do.
Every time.
Classic.
It's kind of like sometimes you have a putt and you're like, well, I can't miss this high.
Right.
And then you will miss it high.
Sail it over the basket.
Because that was a very crucial mistake, because now all of a sudden you give Missy 3 strokes going into 17, which with how FPO plays it, the advancing the tee shot, she really, a 5 was basically the worst you could take. Like, not the second shot is not a walk in the park, but it just turns it into a chip hyzer.
And I think we have this conversation every year. Because I think they've been playing it like this for a while now.
They have, yeah.
And I've definitely seen the upshot get messed up once they move up. And I also, like, I understand that pace of play is their motivation, but it does take a lot of air out of that hole when it's supposed to be like this huge trump card.
Because the other thing it's supposed to do is, and we've seen this happen in MPO, if you go from, because if you're watching and you don't know what happens, basically Missy steps up first, she throws her shot, misses the island, okay? On hole 17 in MPO, you immediately re-tee. No one else goes. You immediately re-throw. In FPO, what happens is there is a drop zone you advance to that's probably 60 to 70 feet, I would say, but it's down to the left, which turns it into a backhand hyzer.
Yeah.
So before it's kind of a turnover, it's a gusting wind, it's a tricky shot. All of a sudden you have this chip backhand hyzer. And what's crucial to me, what makes me really not like it in this case, final round, which I have a solution I'm going to propose, is because it gives Missy context.
Yeah.
Because if Missy had to re-tee right there, she doesn't know what Silva's about to do. Mm-hmm. So she has to now throw with the pressure of Silva's going to make this first time.
That's probably the biggest issue with it, is that you don't have to throw back to back.
Correct.
You
because
can gather your thoughts.
Yes, the shot gets easier, but you also get the benefit of context, because now when she steps up to that next shot, she knows Silva's coming to the drop zone with me. Right? And if she stepped up the first time and had to just immediately rethrow, she doesn't know that. She might miss it again. And again, all of a sudden, it might be, well, Silva can afford to miss it once.
You're watching your dreams collapse. And like, it's like almost this, like, if you've ever been in this situation where you have to throw another shot like that, it's like almost awkward. Where like you turn around, everybody is just staring.
Everyone's
at you.
silent. The crowd didn't make any noise.
Yeah, they know what's going on, and
your heart starts racing.
Yeah, having to throw back to back there is a big deal, and so just getting a break, and then especially like you mentioned, watching the other players mess up, like it takes a lot of the edge off of what's normally a very decisive hole.
Yeah. And so anyways, Missy, they both end up taking 5s. They both move forward. The other interesting talking point that happened here was Anelli was on the island, probably inside the circle.
Yeah.
Closer to circle's edge, but inside the circle. And again, she's in second. At this point, she is, if she lays up the putt, 3 strokes behind Missy, right? But she is 7 strokes clear of 4th place, because she was in 3rd at this point on the scorecard. And she's gaining on Silva in 2nd, but it's like, you're guaranteed a podium. There's nothing you can do to lose a podium. And she chose to lay up, which, like, I get that maybe at that point she felt she couldn't win, but if she makes that putt, that puts her 2 strokes on 18.
Yeah.
And, like, anything could happen there.
Incredibly volatile.
Yeah.
Like, you can go double OB on 18.
What I'm imagining was happening was, I'm imagining she had counted Missy out, and she was in her head playing against Silva for 2nd.
Yeah, I think she thought it was just over.
And she was like, oh, if I lay up here, I can take 2 on Silva, and we could be tied going into the last hole for 2nd.
Right. Not
realizing if I make this putt, I can cut it to 2 and have a chance at the title on 18.
That was a head scratcher.
Because she laid it up, and rightfully so, Charlie Eisenhood in the booth lost his mind.
Yeah.
He was like, what did we, because at this point, I was watching it with my son while we were eating lunch under the tent. Because I didn't walk up to 17, 18. So I was watching this all go down in the tent with the crowd. And when she laid up, Charlie Eisenhood just was like, that is the most mind-boggling layup I have ever seen. I was like, yeah, what the heck is she thinking? Like, I think that was a classic.
Didn't have a grasp of the scores.
Didn't know. Yeah. I think she knew where she was in relation to Silva, and she was playing match play there, and just lost context of Missy.
Some people, and like players, and I don't know what she was thinking, but sometimes players go off of feel, and like if you haven't made a birdie since like hole 6 or 7.
She hadn't made. Her only birdie that day was 6.
So you haven't made a birdie since then. You watch Missy like rattle off 3 in a row, and like she's just kind of cruising. And it seems like all eyes have kind of like she may have just kind of turned off like her I'm trying to win brain.
I think so.
And just been like I'm trying to finish the best I can.
Well,
brain.
that's what I think she might have been tracking Silva and not tracking Missy.
Yeah, because I mean, and she had a caddy too, so it's like
because she was right, and then she ended up jumping Miss Silva for second.
At the end of the day, she probably won't be too mad at herself because it did make her more money. But knowing that, like, I mean, and then if you're Missy, because like. Missy was able to afford a number, whereas before it could have been a situation where she's going at least stepping on the tee, thinking, "I need to make par."
Yeah, well, because Missy, again, 18, she knew what she could do, so she did go out of bounds on 18, but like it never mattered. You know what I mean? Versus like on 18, thinking like if I bogey to a birdie, I could lose this thing and go to a playoff. Like,
and Eagles even in play on that hole.
Bogey is very realistic on that hole.
Yeah.
Like, it's not super realistic, but I mean, it happens. We saw Silva do it, right? Like, it only takes a little slip up for all of a sudden bogey to come into play.
And anytime you have an elevated basket, those putts can be pretty freaky. So
yeah. So in the end of the day, it probably wouldn't have mattered.
I bet Missy was probably pretty happy when she laid it up.
Yeah,
I would have been like, all right, 3 strokes sounds better than 2. Yeah,
but it was a very interesting tournament because it was also like the Silva collapse down the stretch of 15, 16, 17, 18. Like there was only 15 was the like, wow, that's a bad shot. Past that, I mean, 17 was pretty tough because she had to, like, she could have put pressure on Missy. Like, she could have won it still there. But it was just interesting to watch it in that context of, like, probably if this isn't USDGC and you're just looking at their shots down the stretch and the OB's not there, Silva might win this thing. But because 16, you have the hazard, and now she feels like she has to run it and runs it into hazard, and then she is like now feels defeated and misses that putt and taps out. Like that's what USDGC does. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, Missy is not typically. I mean, she had her moment in the 3rd round, but she is kind of a like I'm gonna play my game and wait for you to mess up. Like that's anybody who has had consistent success in the FPO division. I mean, literally, you look at Missy, Owen Scoggins, and Kristen Tatar have had 3 of the better runs in MPO disc golf. There have been other players who have popped up.
Even when Silva has had her success.
Right, even when Silva's had her success. It is done by playing consistent golf and waiting for people to fall apart. And, like, this is the course where that happens more than
this is the
any other.
ideal course
and Silva, she didn't get over-aggressive. I'm not even trying to imply that. But it's like just what Missy did was enough.
Yeah. And so there you have it. Missy Gannon. And this win should also lock up player of the year.
I was kind of like
this should be it.
I always root for Missy, so I was happy for her to win, but I was secretly like a little disappointed that we weren't going to get as contentious of a player of the year argument. But now I actually realized, I was like, you know what? I bet there's still a chance that people are going to vote for Own. And so now if Missy loses player of the year, we can extra freak out.
There's no way. But if she does, I will lose my mind. There's no way.
Cannot lose the player vote. I'm almost certain of that.
She can't lose the media vote.
Oh, I don't know.
There's no way.
I don't know.
There's no way. I'd be bamboozled.
I need like another Instagram post about it to gauge it. That's what I need.
In my opinion,
it shouldn't even be close.
Back to 17, because I forgot to give my opinion on this. I think that 17, I understand pace of play when you're dealing with a field. Like, I mean, like you had good players that were, shooting 7+ over on the day, 17 over. I mean, I'm not going to say their names, but like there's a player that made the cash line at 20 over par. So I get the I get the desire to not have hole 17 be throw it 3 times, then move to the drop zone all week long, because that's post cut line, pre cut line. I get it even more. But my opinion is final day, that's how it should play. Yeah. Mainly because that's when it matters the most. Mm-hmm. And I do think it's a shame that
the ratings don't count already. Let's just mix it up even more.
Well, because you have a cut down field, right? You can mess with tee times a little bit. For MPO, you already moved their tee time back like an hour going to the final day. Just adjust it by like 30 minutes.
Did anybody even? I mean, we can look at it later, but did anybody in MPO even take a huge number on 17? Like
we can look at it.
Nobody on coverage.
It was the third. It was the third hardest hole on the course.
Yeah,
strokes.
And I'm sure people did, but like I guess I just didn't see. There wasn't a signature one where somebody in the running
on coverage.
Got blown up.
There almost was, but we'll talk about that. But I would just like to see it from the standpoint of like, even it's just the fact that Missy in this position with the lead would have had to immediately rethrow without context. Because I think being able to go to that drop zone and have the context that like worst case scenario they gain like 1 on me here is such a like it's not USDGC. So I think that in my opinion that should change. But great
it's
weekend.
TPWDGC.
True. Great weekend overall. Fantastic tournament for Missy Gannon. And really a great performance from Silva all weekend as well. So now over in MPO, he has done it. Anthony Barella has earned his first major, and he's won probably the first major that most people would want to win because it's the one that eludes so many people.
Well, and it's the one that never changes. So, like, while you can justify and be like, well, each year I'll get better at it and better at it, there's also kind of that feeling of like, well, if it's been long enough and I haven't won it, it just might not be my track.
Yeah.
Like that could just be the case.
So Anthony Barella now has his USDGC ring, and then you had Ricky Wysocki and Paul Macbeth tied for second. So Ricky, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, yet again.
The stat really continues working.
Because now we're over a decade where he has one finish outside the top 10, and that was 11th place. So the dude is just disgusting at USDGC, but cannot win it.
Well, yeah, and we just saw as we got later into the tournament, he just faded.
Yeah. Well, which this year was interesting. Like he had some firework rounds, which actually we'll start with that. Kind of, this was like a dream tournament to a certain extent, where you had Macbeth hot round 1, then you have the homeboy Ricky Wysocki. The crowd was very pro Rick. I asked Connor to get some Let's Go Ricks in and report back to us. Unfortunately, he's not here today, so we'll have to ask him about it again.
Wow, he was really caught up in it with the Paul situation.
I don't know if he was able to get a Let's Go Rick in during that final round or not. I just wanted to know, he's the biggest Paul fan.
Yeah.
Like, because he was like, he texted us at one point and said, I kind of just made a scene because AB chained out and I audibly fist pumped and yelled after the chain out, which is like, that's wild.
That is wild behavior.
That's wild behavior to be in the crowd doing that.
Yeah.
Because at this point my wife was driving me home so that I could watch it because we didn't want to drive with my son at like 11 p.m. You understand, parents. Anyways, so I was watching it and he texted it. I was like, that's pretty wild behavior. So I think he was so caught up that like he couldn't. Anyways, I just want to know if he did it because it would hurt him more than anyone. Because I could have let out Electro Rick anytime. And it wouldn't have affected me. But I wanted to see if it hurt Paul's or if it hurt Connor's soul to be like, let's go, Rick.
Been really funny if he would have been like, for us, dropped one and Paul would have just glared at him, like heard him and just glared
over like, really, Connor? Like that
would have been really fun.
We should have set it all up. Anyways, so you have Ricky Wysocki though, insane 13 under round 2 that really could have
been like a 15.
Could have been at least a 14. He bogeyed 18. It could have got to 15 under. So that was an insane round to put him in. And then AB didn't shoot the hot round, but shot one off in the hot round of everyone in contention in round 3 to get this dream final round lead card of AB in the lead, Paul and Ricky chasing, and then Calvin was only 4 strokes back. So Calvin was right in the mix too.
And then, Gannon was like another stroke back. So
Gannon
was so stacked.
Gannon just kind of had a little bit of an off week, but he was still finished fine.
I think the way he described it was every time he kind of got things going, something would happen. And I
did talk to him at one point, and I think it was after round 2. I talked to him, and I was like, what the heck's going on, dude? Like, you going to get things together? Joking with him, obviously. And he basically said, like, he was trying a new routine that was a little bit faster. And he said that it bit him in the butt some because, like, where he would typically take longer and wait on the wind, he was like trying to be quicker, and he's like, so I would get gust, the rest of the players wouldn't. So I think that was more in his head, but it was definitely in his head of like,
the wind is so swirly there. Like I noticed a few times in the final round, especially, like you would have a guy lining up a putting routine. One that sticks out to me that I really caught was Paul's putt for par after the drop zone shot on 12, and he's got tailwind the whole time. He's lining up this putt. Tailwind. Last second, it goes head for a second and then drops. The flag drops. And that's right as he's getting ready to putt. I almost wanted to yell at the screen like, oh no! Like it stopped. And sure enough, he launches it over the basket. And the wind out there does that. Like there are a few holes that play pretty consistent. I feel like some of the ones near the water, but then like hole 7, for example, The reason that people don't hit that Mando that often is because like you are just puzzled. Like you throw that disc out there and it gets bodied. It's like being in a dryer. Like I mean, it gets tumbled all over the place.
We saw the drives on 12 was a great example of that, where we saw Gannon get turned over way to the right on chase card. Then we saw AB deal with the same thing. Then we saw Paul's get kind of shoved down.
Yeah, there was just nothing. You just kind of have to get it out there. Yeah, the wind was crazy.
It was crazy stuff. And it didn't help. There was a tropical storm kind of blowing in, and Rock Hill was getting the edge of it. So it wasn't like there wasn't necessarily rain and stuff hitting, but you were getting the like weird wind of the storm coming, and it just was like never quite hitting. So as it was going by, there was just these weird gusts and swirl. It was a very inconsistent day, the final day.
Yeah.
But on the front nine, you kind of have Ricky and AB start to separate, Paul and AB start to separate from Ricky. And Paul's kind of having a little bit of a better front nine, and to me, the big momentum shift happens on hole 10. So hole 10, Paul goes OB.
Which he had played for birdie.
Yes.
And I think, did he get it all 3 rounds before that?
I think they said so.
Because like, the thing I
can look real quick. It won't take me long at all.
The thing about the hole 10 play is I actually liked what he was doing.
He got it all 3
Yeah,
before,
I liked what he was doing because that birdie, if you play it for birdie for the pros, is really, really easy. It's just one of those things where you just cannot mess it up there.
Yeah.
Like that, I totally agree. You don't change up the strategy now. You haven't thrown that shot the whole weekend. Like you need to throw.
Well, there's also no need. Like worst case scenario, you lose one and you end up tied with the guy?
Exactly.
So it's like, who cares?
It made complete sense to me, but like when you throw it out of bounds, it's just like, ugh, like you just can't do that.
Well, it's also so defeating too. But anyway, so Paul ends up taking the par. AB clutches up. Makes the eagle lead change. All of a sudden, AB's up by 1. And then hole 11, they both made look like a cakewalk, which was disgusting to watch as someone who recently played it. It's not an easy hole. It is if you have AB's 5,000-foot forehand, apparently. Because watching where that thing carried to, I was like, that's not humanly possible. Doesn't matter. Just a little chip, forehands into the green. They walk away. Hole 12 is where things were interesting because you have AB get flipped over, like I said, to where Gannon was, where it in a worse spot. But
he wasn't really going to be able to attack for birdie.
He wasn't going to be able to attack for birdie, but he's safe. And then Paul throws what a lot of years would have been a phenomenal shot up on that ridge, but USDGC strategically placed OB kind of in like, not the money zone. Most pros want to carry that, but in a little bit of a trap zone.
Well, he just never had enough air on it either, and the wind kind of pushed it down, but like the shot, he kind of yanked it a little bit, and the shot just came out low. Like that's still a far carry, so it just never had the legs.
And what I love about USDGC is more courses need to do this if they have the capability, is the mowing phenomenal, where they, as a spectator, as watching on camera, years past, people would complain about it's hard to visually see where is OB, where is not. You can't question that anymore.
Also got giant rocks.
Because they have the giant rocks. They have the rope for players. So when players walk up to the line, very clearly defined by rope. But then also visually off the tee and visually as a spectator and through the camera, you have the tall grass versus short grass. What I also love about it is, like, we saw this the most on hole 9, in my opinion. You're not going to get skips inbounds. So it's like you've got to have speed control and stuff because you got to carry, but then you're carrying onto short grass. So you're going to get only skips inbounds. But then, like, if you're coming in and you're OB and your shot doesn't carry it, it's just going to get eaten up.
To be fair, we did see, I saw at least 5 shots on 9 that landed out of bounds and jumped inbounds. But they were also landing, like,
on the line.
Basically on the line.
I'm saying you're not getting like a big flare skip where it's like you kind of threw it too low, but you got bailed out.
Correct.
Like, you're going to get some plops in and out. But I'm saying the big old skip shots.
Yeah, I say once you are inbounds, I mean, they have it mowed short enough and it's dead enough out there that, like, I mean, you're getting
big old skip. Yeah. Love that. I think more courses should incorporate that, even just visually. But regardless, anyway, Paul gets eaten up. Then he throws the approach shot to a good spot. But as Trevor mentioned, wind read goes wrong.
Had to make the comebacker too. The comebacker was tough.
The comebacker was clutch because that was into a headwind up the hill because the wind went back to what it was before. Then hole 13, we see the first of what ends up being a little bit of a stretch where AB could have taken advantage, but just never quite could get it to work.
Both of them could, like Paul. It was a stretch where AB left the door open for 3 holes, and Paul just did nothing with it.
Most of the time, and correct me if I'm wrong, it felt like Paul was the one that did nothing first.
No,
and then it was like, okay,
AB was ahead of him on the tee every time.
I'm saying on the shots that actually messed up. Like AB on 14, for instance, did what he had to do. He put it to 20 feet.
AB on 13 threw his approach first.
And put it to a good spot, 40 feet out.
Well, it wasn't a good spot.
From where he was at, it was pretty impressive.
Well, right, but
he
I'm
was
saying
down to the right.
I'm saying like
turnover.
on 13, Paul is throwing his upshot knowing if I make birdie, I probably get one.
I disagree with that because where they were at, they couldn't see where AB's had finished. So AB's shot looked money. It just didn't quite get the flex back, and he was just outside the circle.
Well, in any case, he could have made birdie there and taken a stroke, and he throws a very bad shot. Doesn't flip it over.
But I'm thinking on 13, Paul's head is I have to put this close because AB's about to birdie.
Well, either way, he still messed up.
He messed up.
14 and 15, though, AB put the pressure on Paul with good drives.
Correct. But what I'm saying is AB had the chance to put Paul away in this little stretch right here.
Yeah, no, in hindsight, Paul could have clawed back. During the moment, it felt like, yes, AB was not taking his
Correct.
moments.
That's what I'm saying. Is it felt like AB just could not close the door on Paul. Sometimes his own fault, sometimes the course's fault. Because then 13, he misses his putt for birdie, which would have been to take a stroke. Okay. 14, he puts it to like 20 feet. Chains out left to take another stroke because Paul was up to the right, ran the putt, dropped it, tap out. Then 15, Paul hits the Mando tree, kicks and misses the Mando, puts it to like 5 feet for his par. AB throws an amazing drive first, obviously, but then from the upshot, throws what looks to be perfect, realistically, just a little deep, hits the tree and rolls to outside the circle for his birdie look. So all of a sudden they're squared there,
I don't like that green.
Which was just wild. So then they go into 16. And 16, you have AB, really windy out there. Really windy. Still steps up with his Luna and just...
perfection.
Perfect shot. 10 feet, 12 feet.
So good.
Insane. I was like baffled as to how a putter in general did that. Had to play at such a perfect angle. Paul goes mid, turns it too much, hits a tree, is left like 100 some feet out. So this felt like, okay, man, this is like things could really... AB could really shut the door finally.
The funny thing is, though, like because of this tournament, and there's nothing else like it, because of hole 17, I mean, legitimately, we can't Paul bled another one. He's down 2. Okay, he's gonna stay down 2. Well, he's down 3. Now it looks like he's gonna go down 4. But even being down 4, you have to remember.
Did he ever get down 4? He finished down 4.
I think he stayed within 3. I think he stayed within 3. I'm saying
it kept feeling it was going to go down 4.
If he was going to miss the putt on 16,
correct.
That's where it felt like it was going to. But in any case, because of what 17 presents, which, like, think about this. It's stroke and distance. So you miss the island one time. You are throwing 3 with all the pressure in the world. And if you miss it again, you're cooked. And then the other guy has to make a 2, and all of a sudden any lead you built can get erased.
Yeah.
So...
You
can do anything you want, but it's still going to be 17. So we're watching it thinking, like, well, at least it'll still be interesting. But then Paul makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, because then Paul, again, you check our Instagram if you want to see this, bangs, what do they give it to him at?
It had to be 100.
112 they give it to him.
So far.
112-foot putt. And I mean, the crowd erupts. It was a crazy moment. Because then, to Trevor's point, like, yeah, he cut the lead down, but it was still... I think it was still 3.
Well, yeah,
but with 17, it felt like AB misses the island once. This is a ball game.
Well, and also the thing is, 18 is a great separator too. So if you can get it to 2 shots going into 18, where okay, we just need a birdie bogey swing to get to a playoff, that's attainable. So this is not over.
You had to be within 6. Yeah, realistically, going into the last 2 holes.
It's just not over at this point.
And that's what's the beautiful thing about this tournament is because it keeps you as a viewer at home and as a viewer on the ground engaged because pretty much anyone's in it. It's just like, will the leader actually do what he needs to do? Yeah. And so AB steps up. Well, first off, what was very interesting to watch was we got the context of Gannon Burr throwing a really shot that got bodied by the wind on 17. But what AB gets the context of is Ricky Wysocki, who has the tee. He throws the high safe shot, right? I'm going to bail it out to the right, just get on the island. And the crosswind, it was a left to right cross. He throws that thing into the tree so high that like it was going to be in the gallery. Like he was about to miss it wide. It hits the tree, it hits the ground, and then rolls back to where he's safe. But like that's what AB has the context of like, if I throw the shot that everyone was kind of expecting AB to throw, the higher, safer shot, like that's not really an option right now.
Yeah.
So he steps up with a zone in his hand and attacks the basket. And like, this is terrifying because you're filled with adrenaline. It's a pretty short shot, 250 downhill. And so like, you know, this is a hard one to get the distance right.
It's really a perspective shot when you think about the fact that he threw it. Not only did he throw a zone, but he threw it on hyzer the whole way. And like, I mean, we would have been 100 short if we tried to throw that line.
So he throws a zone wide on hyzer, but lower. And so he's attacking the basket, which the island gets smaller and smaller towards the basket. So I'm watching it and I'm like, he's deep. He's deep. Like the whole time you're thinking he's deep. Which is what it felt like. It looked like the perfect line.
Yeah, I thought,
but it felt deep.
Out of his hand, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to ace it. And then, yeah, about halfway through, I realized that is getting there way too quick.
Yeah.
And the cameraman is starting to back up.
Because oh my gosh, he's going to ace it is a terrifying line to throw in the lead because there's not room. And the hand of God reaches out and puts the brakes on this thing. I don't really know another way to describe it because it hits on a patch that's not even that thick.
No.
And like everything in you says this disc is about to flare skip into, and here we go. And it just stops perfectly at like probably 30-ish feet.
It stopped so abruptly that we had to check replay multiple times to make sure it didn't, in fact, hit the cameraman.
Yeah.
Shout out to that cameraman. He avoided a disaster.
That would have been tough.
That would have been the worst thing ever. But yeah,
it just stopped.
I mean, you can give partial credit to the fact that he threw the approach disc. Like you have better odds, but still. I mean, if you watch that tournament, discs like
they
that
don't
land
sit
on
there.
hyzer around baskets on those, like they jump a little. Like that's just what they do. So it was miraculous.
So yeah, it sits there. So then that leads Paul has to throw the ace run if he wants a chance at winning it. So obviously he goes deep, takes a 5 on that hole, which is what drops him into the tie for second, where he loses by 4, and Anthony Barella takes it down. First major as one of the biggest AB fans in the world. How do you feel?
It was great. I mean, here's the thing, and I'm obviously a really big Paul fan, have been. So my mind, this was like a nightmare watch for me, basically. It was going to be pretty painful either way. And what happened was I was rooting, to be clear, at the start of the day, I was rooting for Paul. I really was. I couldn't deny it. I was rooting for Paul. I was obviously like the consolation of AB winning was never going to make me that upset, but I was rooting for Paul. It flipped a little once it got to the point where the only way Paul was going to win was an AB collapse. I couldn't root for that. I couldn't do it. So when he stuck the island, I was happy for him. So that is where I was at. I'm very thrilled that he got a major. I think he like stays ahead of schedule with the major allegations there because he had 5 Elite Series wins without a major.
What's funny is that's just the last 2 years.
Yes.
It's crazy how quickly he's done it.
When you win that much, like the allegations, they form quickly. Obviously, Calvin had 11. Simon, I think, has like 9. And, you know, there's some others on that list. But in any case, this is his second year where he's really been playing very well. So getting the major already is huge just for his career narrative. And yeah, I think it also is, I think, the big other victory is this season was kind of underwhelming. I mean, he got a win, and I think there are a lot of players, even really good players, who didn't win at all this year. So like getting a win is still somewhat a success as a season, but throwing the major on top turns it from like it was okay to like this season rocked. Now you put it in the same pedestal as last year's season, even though you run 4 times, because it's just such a huge burden to get off your shoulders. So I think it sets him up great going forward.
So looking at the whole 17 collapses.
Yeah, was there any great ones?
So
not really.
Round 1, but an 8 is about as bad as it gets. The 9's really the worst you can take.
Can you? Yeah.
Because 3 OB is all you take. So once you've thrown OB 3 times, 2, 4, 6, then you go to the drop zone 7, 8.
With stroke and distance, right? So
no, there's a drop zone after 3.
So, but you're throwing.
So you're going 2, 4, 6.
Well, no, you'd be throwing 1, 3, 5, right?
1,
3, 5. You missed again. Now you're throwing.
But I didn't get the 6. You're lying 6 at the drop zone.
So they don't give you another penalty. You're not.
That is the penalty. 1, drop 2. 3, drop 4. 5, drop 6 at the drop zone. 7, tap out 8.
Tap out 8. Okay.
Yeah. So 8's the worst you can take.
Okay.
So you have 8 only happen in round 1. You have several 7s in round 1. You have a 7, a bunch of 6s.
No, that was 18.
No, it's 18. It's almost like a 9.
Perfect.
And then final round, the worst you have was a 6 from Ezra.
What did Johnny McRae take that one year?
Let's look it up. That was 2014 USDGC.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to be able to find a scorecard probably.
You might be able to.
Surely not. Yeah, you're just gonna see their total
few whole
round
scores.
score.
Yeah, get wrecked, Trev.
What
get
the
wrecked.
heck?
I thought we had live scoring by then. 9 final round.
Okay, so one worse.
One worse. Yeah. Man, he lost 7 strokes to Paul on hole 17.
The beautiful game.
That's incredible. And then he gained 2 back on Shoestrick and Paul.
They both goofed.
Yeah. Wow, it's awesome. Man, USDGC is incredible. I mean,
It's like
just
a
what
nine,
it is
dude.
crazy to look at.
That tournament was over.
It is crazy to look at how far the sport's come in 11 years, because that was a 3-way playoff at 19 under at that course,
Which was easier.
Yeah, I'd say it's changed, but all the changes have really made it harder.
Yeah, I mean,
and this year the winner AB was at what 31.
Yeah.
So it takes 12 more strokes under par to win this thing now.
I think we had, like, the other winners have been coming in closer to the mid 30s, like 33, 34. So
because 19 under this year puts you in top 10.
Yeah.
Wild how far the sport's evolved. Some non-results storylines I did want to talk about is the baskets. So now that we've had the whole tournament happen, we also got to putt on these new Disc Catcher Tour baskets. Essentially, seeing them in person, you have the Disc Catcher, which has the 2 rows of chains, and then the 3rd row of chains they added is on the pole, which was interesting. Yeah. Like it might be a half an inch off
margin, right?
But it's on the pole essentially. I would imagine the idea here is to reduce the, like, if you hit the pole pop-offs.
That's what they said.
We did still see one. Nicolas Antela, hole 17. Yeah. He did have a 15-footer pop off the pole. Putting on the baskets, I didn't feel like they caught any better or any worse than a normal Disc Catcher. I didn't really notice.
I think baskets are just kind of like I'm sure there are ways to innovate them beyond what we have done, but as far as the model of the basket that we have right now, which everybody is going to make them with the same dimensions because that's kind of standardized, I guess, somewhat. And then they're going to use the rows of chains, like, and free ad, I guess, but like Gateway, for example, has that like Titan catcher, and the thing that they've kind of messed around with is different weighted chains in different spots, and I think that's interesting. But with the current model of the basket that we use in our sport, they're just gonna spit out sometimes. Like I think that's just I think that's what we have.
Because if you make the chains heavier or put those cross sections, it cuts down the spit through, but then you have more of the spit out.
You're right. So I think at the end of the day, like, it is just kind of a part of the sport. If they tested it and found that it did reduce those on the pole, which, like, I can look at it and objectively be like, yeah, okay, that seems like that might work, right? Like the chains could change the angle of the disc and knock them around or soften the blow. But I think it's like a big, like, nothing burger kind of just like whatever.
I think what ended up happening was, like, the idea of introducing new baskets at a major is a pretty wild idea. It
is a wild idea.
I don't think that it's like criminal. Like, I don't think it should be like, you definitely shouldn't, but it's a big risk.
It's something we would get fired up about in the off season if we had nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
But sitting here at the end of the year, it's kind of like, I mean, whatever. It didn't cost anybody anything.
Because then what it led to was everyone was so focused on it that anytime a putt didn't stick for any reason, the basket was blamed.
And I saw some really good catches.
And like, I'll say, when I look at the Facebook posts and kind of scrub through, and I'm like, these are pretty much, I've seen all of the spit throughs that happened on coverage. It doesn't feel bigger than a normal week.
No.
So I think my conclusion is, I don't think it catches better. I don't think it catches worse.
Yeah, I think it might be the same and more expensive.
I think it was just I think that you saw it on social more because, like, your eyes were looking for a spit out because these were new baskets.
I'm still waiting to hear about this basket testing.
Was that not last year?
Well, I think they were supposed to be, at one point there was going to be testing, but then we were going to wait a year before there was going to be more testing and a decision. Like, I think at the end of this year was when they first announced there was supposed to be a decision made. You might be able to find it.
I can probably find it.
But, like, that's kind of juicy. Like, what basket would the Pro Tour end up picking? Like, that was the goal.
Pro Tour moved forward with basket testing.
Because I'm pretty sure we weren't going to get something. Yeah, this is in April. So.
After initial round of preliminary testing at the end of 2024. So that's what I was talking about. Continuing forward with the evaluation process. All baskets submitted for Pro Tour testing must be approved by the PDGA. All equipment, blah, blah, blah. You just submit it for testing, and interested parties should be, again, filling this out. The tour's equipment testing intake below. Our team will follow up with the next step to get your equipment slated for testing. So they're just going to approve baskets for the tour.
That's lame.
Is all it is. So basically all manufacturers have to submit their basket testing.
So I guess when we first heard the rumors of basket testing, we thought they were going to do it for the purpose of
This is basically make sure your basket's up to snuff to be allowed on the Pro Tour.
I still feel like that's got to happen eventually, but I guess with all the manufacturer income
I think they can't really standardize a basket, unfortunately.
They can't.
Yeah, because they need the sponsorship money.
Yeah.
So okay, throw pink women's to a major.
Okay.
Here's some ideas, because Missy Gannon pre-round interviews was talking about this and was being asked like, hey, obviously it feels like a major. What do we got to do to make it a major? She said even when she won it in 2021, that Discraft treated it as if she had won a major.
Yeah.
So players basically already get the on-ground field. Like I said, this event is ran as one of the best majors in the world. I would say realistically standard of event level, European Open's probably 1, USDGC's probably 2, then probably Worlds, then probably Champions Cup. Is probably how I would
tier list it. We really have to get to one of these European events so that we can chime in on that.
Yeah, I just from the outside looking at
it. But everybody gasses up and it's like, and it does look awesome, but like, you can't know until
well, European Open's also done. Allegedly
no, like
now.
Another European.
So now
it's
the European Disc Golf Festival. We'll see. We'll see how that one pans out. But that's kind of how I would rank it. So like for FPO to just be playing an A tier on there, it doesn't feel like an A tier for any of them. And so Missy basically said like it feels like a major. When I won it, my sponsors treated it as a major. So basically all players are missing out on is the accolade of major titles.
Yeah.
Like you win it and you just don't get to be like if you like Holland Hanley's not a one-time major winner because of right, she hasn't won a major outside of yeah. So she should be a one-time major winner if Throw Pink was a major. But it's an A tier. So she's a 0-time major winner. So that's all players are missing out on. So my proposal is Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship is a phenomenal name for U.S. Women's.
Sure.
So I think Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship takes U.S. Women's place. That happens earlier in the season. It's treated with the same respect and everything, but it's not a major for FPO. It's a major for all other divisions, not a major for FPO. And then this is just USDGC. And it's FPO and MPO, United States Disc Golf Championship. Boom, done. That's my proposal.
Yeah, that would, but the problem is Throw Pink is like an Innova thing. So
yeah, no, I understand the problems.
Yeah,
but that's my proposal. That's what makes the most logical sense. Of everyone checks egos at the door, and this is what makes the most sense. Because the other problem that this idea presents is the PDGA would have to give up control of another major to Innova.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
So like everyone had to give control back and forth. But to me, that's what makes the most sense. Is like U.S. Women's right now is this awesome, celebration of women's disc golf. That's like it's a major. You have all these players coming in. It's phenomenal, right? Just make that the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Tournament. Boom. I think that's great.
The FPO field wouldn't show.
Well, now it's on them of like it's a PR thing of you still plan it in the tour, you give it the same respect, and if the FPO doesn't want to invest in the next generation, judge the players by their character. That's
I like
for them.
that. Yeah, good call, Hunt.
And then you have USDGC is just United States Disc Golf Championship, period. That's it. There is no USWDGC, USDGC,
Perfectly
Throw Pink Women.
Balanced,
It's just United States Disc Golf Championship. Winners are winners. And there you go. There's your 4 majors.
Seems logical to me, Hunt.
That's my proposal. Will never happen, though. So
vote this guy into the Board of Commissioners.
Please don't. All right, time for the fan favorite segment, Trevor's Trivia, right after these messages.
What even is a board? The Board of Commissioners doesn't exist. Board of, what is their thing?
Directors.
Board of Directors. House like that doesn't exist. Okay, Hunt.
I just said a fake thing there.
So, let me get to notes here. USDGC. Been going on since 1999. There's been a few different winners. I'm going to see today if you can rank manufacturers by United States disc golf titles.
They won with this manufacturer.
Yes, the player, like whatever, obviously some players have won with different ones. It had to be whoever they were represented by at that time.
Okay. And it was number 1.
Well, let me, yes,
Sorry.
You're correct, but let me just tell you there is 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 different ones. Innova is 1. They are head and shoulders above. And then you have 1 in second, 2 tied for third, and then 1 in fourth or fifth if you're doing it in standings world. So Innova is first with 16 titles. Obviously, all of the Barry. Now, not only they have all the Barry,
Ken.
I think
they get a Will one.
They get 2 Will ones.
Yeah.
And they get a Feldberg. And they get
Sexton
some Paul
and some Paul.
and Sexton. So there you go.
Okay. Here's the deal, though. I don't know if they get a big germ.
I purposely didn't address that because I wanted to let you debate that.
Because 2016, when did germ go to Innova? That is going to be an interesting one. But let's address Discraft first.
Okay.
Discraft gets Anthony Barella this year. They get Paul Macbeth.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to add this year's.
2021.
So, I mean, that doesn't change much, but that will make 2 people tied for second, actually, with him getting this year's.
Oh, then I know Discraft's in second. So I'll say.
Well, you were on the track.
Discraft.
You don't have to rank them. You just need to get the 5.
Oh, I just need to get the 5.
You don't have to get
I want to get them in order.
Well, you can try for that.
I want
to
try to get them in order.
Get the 5.
Discraft second.
Yes, Discraft has 3.
So with 3, what's going to be interesting is, so Prodigy wouldn't be around until 2015. So I got to think of winners since that. Because James Conrad was with Innova when he won as well. Chris Dickerson was with 2020 Prodigy. So we have Dickerson Prodigy. We have one Will Schustrick Prodigy. I think Big Germ was still with Prodigy. I don't think he had went to Innova. He definitely had went to MVP. So I think Prodigy is going to be tied with Discraft for second.
They are.
Nice.
That was right at the beginning of Will's Prodigy days, and that was the end of Big Germs because that win is what got him the interest from the other companies.
And that was
get him to
end of Dickerson's in some ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you have 2 more companies.
2 more. So I have Innova locked in. I have Discraft locked in. I have Prodigy locked in. Discmania, we have Kyle Klein and Gannon Burr, so they've got to be next.
They are.
Discmania.
And then that leaves 1 company.
1 dark horse company.
With 1 winner.
Gateway, probably. Nico LaCastro.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Got it. There you go. Yeah.
I didn't know where Nico was going to fall. I knew he wasn't with Prodigy yet, and back then I think he was just Gateway open bag.
His other, Dynamic was his other sponsorship, but they weren't making plastics. So.
Yeah, because they started in 2012, I think.
Yeah, that's honestly a funny one because you have Paul and Will really split up. Big Germ right before his move, so there is some nuance to that list. But
yeah,
I mean,
09 Nico LaCastro, I think, right? Yeah.
There you go. Got him.
Pick'em versus Tour Life. Final standings.
I don't even want to talk about this.
Just to wrap it up, they beat us yet again because they picked Paige Pierce over Cat Merch. We had all the other picks were the exact same.
That's lame.
So they end up winning by 185 points on the season.
I feel like next year
I want some type of way
to avoid that.
To snake draft or something.
I almost like the idea. Well, I almost like the idea for parity's sake, and maybe not for parity. Just if you're losing, you get to pick second. You can, so that way, playing defense doesn't do you any good. But you at least have the option of because we would have made different picks, and maybe you'd say, well, that's just stupid. But I'm just trying to think. We got killed this year, so it'd been nice to we would have obviously. And here's the thing, on a week like this, had we made different picks, it probably would have cost us.
Most weeks we do pick second. We just up to this point have played blind.
Yeah, we never look
because I think that should be within the rules.
Well, the funny thing is this time we talked ourselves off of just we could have either Rick Pauled or Calvin Pauled and would have been great.
I think what I got to talk. We'll talk with the Tour Life and Edwin Stats team of. How this would work, but I feel like a snake draft fixes it.
Snake draft is brutal.
Maybe not technically snake draft, but just if they pick Gannon, we can't pick Gannon. Gannon's now off the board.
That sounds like a nightmare to coordinate.
All 6. Well, it's just we'd have to do it at the same time. Yeah. So that'd be the tough part. Is
that sounds like our life becoming miserable.
It's just how do we do it? Maybe it's just a Google Doc and it's just round 1 vote.
Google Doc could be a way
to
do it,
and then us, and then
we can just tell them
listen, just do it over time.
Yeah, just listen. We're making our picks at this time. If yours aren't in this doc by then, too bad, so sad.
Because maybe it's just but we can't have them pick fully. Because if the winner picks fully, they just block out all the good players.
No. If you take him, they're gone. Then
that's what I'm saying. Take him, you're gone.
It would have to be. Probably have to just be rotating who picks first and just go straight up draft. Because even a snake, I feel like.
Straight up draft. But still, I'm saying we'd have to coordinate a time where we draft.
That's impossible.
Yeah,
that's impossible.
It's just I think that's the best format for this is coordinating a draft time.
We could, to be fair, also it kind of was relevant a few weeks, but it only happened a couple times that we picked the same players.
It's just by the end of the season you're gonna pick the same players.
Yeah,
it was happening towards the end though because it was pretty locked in who's doing good this season.
Yeah, we weren't going to come back, though.
No, we weren't going to come back. I'm saying it's more interesting early in the season when like things are up in the air more.
It is.
But yeah, they smoked us. Luckily, there was no punishment on the line.
Yeah, Edwin was like, yeah, you guys maybe want to put something on the line next year. He texted us that this morning. I'm thinking to myself,
I'm
like,
down.
I was thinking to myself, we just got killed. Like
I'm game.
You're talking to me at the wrong time. Maybe like at the beginning of next year, I'll have forgotten.
If
this
we can
atrocity.
go a draft, I'm game.
There's no way that's going to happen.
But like if we can, I'm game to put a punishment on the line.
Milk dunk tank.
There you go. There you go. Or the cookie.
Can't afford that.
All right. I did want to talk through really quick because I thought this was an interesting talking point. Go throw back under fire for AI yet again. This is an alleged AI use.
No, it's not.
But it's a pretty obvious AI use.
We have to say alleged, but like...
because so the first thing, this is brought to my attention via Disc Golf Fanatic on Facebook. And there's kind of twofold here. First, in their Go Throw Tour summary blog post, first hint is the UDisc link. Every time it gets mentioned is UDisc and then UDisc +2 and then UDisc +3 +3 So like this one here is UDisc +3, UDisc +3, UDisc +3.
That one could have maybe gone under the radar.
That would have just been like, oh, there's something weird with their HTML.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next paragraph is, want me to switch these into full blog, reorder the stops chronologically, and add player/caddy card highlights from UDisc leaderboards? Question mark.
Here's how you explain this away. Just be like, we have our guy submit it through Google Doc, and he had asked us a question on the doc.
Maybe
we forgot to write it out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be true.
His name is Chad.
Could be true.
Chad GPT.
GPT is the degrees he has.
Yeah, so many. Yeah, he's got a GPT in writing.
And then the secondary one was they just put out this blog post about like, should you go to a disc golf event? And the images are just the worst AI images of a disc golf event ever.
It's like just find a picture of a disc golf event.
Yeah, like the baskets aren't actually proportional. The like drone shot is like obviously cartoony with like not even real tents and like bunkers on a golf course.
Criminal.
So that's making it alleged that the AI wrote the whole blog post. So yeah, I don't know. Again, it just the Go Throw Tour to me just kind of sits in a place of lack of effort. More or less.
Yeah.
Lack of effort and lack of attention to detail, kind of across the board. Minus their coverage. Their coverage was great.
Well, that turns out that's what they've done for years.
But it seems that was the only thing they cared about with the tour, which is unfortunate. So I'll be very curious just to see what happens next year.
This guy's curious.
But that's it. So, all right. We're going to do a little Silas Selects with an asterisk because Connor's not here.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I've already decided that I think we can both say pretty confidently that if we were to get it,
attacked by light.
If we were to get it today, like we know deep down in our hearts it doesn't really count, but it's not.
No, this one has an asterisk.
It's not going to stop us.
But it's not going to have an asterisk when we tell Connor.
Yeah, it's not going to stop us from tomorrow breaking the news, or not tomorrow. Probably wait till next Monday, breaking the news to him and getting a reaction out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's all. I mean, the stars have to align because
one of us has to get it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not going to try this week because like I don't want to waste my guessing power. Silas is listening in again. I hate it when he does that.
You know what? We were at USDGC. I think he went Innova, and so I'm just gonna go T-Bird.
That's a good point.
He's not listening that close. He's eating. He's happy over there.
I think he went Colossus.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Nothing.
Prodigy. Wow. H3V2.
Who's on the H3V2?
It was. We could have got there with the USDGC line of thought.
Yeah.
H3V2.
We're on to you.
We were on your hot tail. But we didn't land there. We messed up. So there it is. That wraps up this week. We will have a preview show for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship here in Lynchburg, Virginia. And don't forget to join us Thursday if you're going to be in town for the Isaiah 117 House charity event. We will see you all out there. Have a great week.
Bye.